Updates within the Noah Presgrove case, continuing on with Never Seen Before text by Kaden Pressy, analysed, summarised by myself. Part 4. The only difference is this time round it's a live stream compared to it being a live premiere, which is pre-recorded. I thought I'd do it this way round just to see if there's any more engagement because it has got quiet in recent time. I thought, you know, people could react live on the spot whilst I react and give you my raw thoughts in the moment to the notes and whatnot. They are in front of me. There you go, very brief. And a couple more on the other side. I just simply take a look at that and then follow on from there, give you my thoughts, reactions. It's broken down bit by bit, so it's not too overwhelming because there's a handful of screenshots. So that's why I do it the way I do. Welcome to one individual that is currently here in the background of the live chat. Just had to get some bits and bobs sorted. And it just so happens that the first person present and the only one present right now, oh shit, 5 joined in, but Strawberry, you're first. Welcome Strawberry, my special Strawberry. And it just so happens that right here, not as big as your heart, but you know, it's hard to measure up to that. So I'll do a bit of a taste test with this later, so make sure to stick around for that. Because once again, it's one of those moments where I've not even had time to eat certain stuff. So where do I put the strawberry? Because I don't want it to leave stains. Shit. I'll rest it on the tip of the drink. What drink? Summer fruits? What the fuck's going on there? I'm having summer fruits all the time. Must be pulling out the wrong ones. I do have a little injury on my thumb, Strawberry, which I can go into depth later. So a result of working very hard. But welcome to anyone else that does join on in. In regard to the title, in regard to it being an update, technically it pretty much is an update because some of the stuff never been seen before, or at least from the perspective of how we're looking at it today. Casey, on time, welcome. Strawberry, I'm eating too. Who are you? What are you eating? I ate before, but I don't know if it's because I ate a bit too late or a bit too fast and a bit of stomach pains, but it should be fine. And we got Donna Power back again with the power. The dating of this can range from October. It's not so much October 2nd, 2023, what we're looking at now. It's more so the 6th of October onwards, which does incorporate the 19th of October as well, 2023. Still really early on in the case investigation. We got Mitch, welcome, good to see. Strawberry jacket, potato and ham salad, that's good. I like jacket potato, so I guess I'm in your good books there. As for salad, yeah, technically I like salad. I don't always like mixing hot and cold food together because it kind of messes up my body, but you know, separately, that's all fine there. Shopping list, ticking off the list. But yeah, I'm gonna lock in for a certain portion of this video, and if there's any questions later, then we can follow from there. Hopefully more people do join on in or so. It's been extremely quiet in recent time, but I'll get the videos done and do what needs to be done. And then at some point I will need to reflect back upon the channel and make some decisions and follow from there. I do have a second device present with me right here, just off screen, which I will do for the second part of this live stream where I'll take a look back at comments. I'll probably turn the phone off just for now so it doesn't use up battery. That's just so I can look back at the comment section of a video that I did a couple of days ago. It got about 50 to 58 comments, which is good because in recent time it's dropped down to about 10 to 5. Sometimes it's a good thing because maybe people haven't got much to say because enough of it was addressed or cleared up in the video itself. But it is always good to see the comments because it can add on, it can complement. And you know, people are free to leave comments in the comment section under this live stream. Just take in mind that when you're watching on replay, when the video is processing, the live chat replay may not show immediately. It does take some hours, maybe a day or so for it to show back up. So just bear with that. I am doing the live stream horizontally this time around and not vertically because vertically, I don't know how successful that is. Kenny Veach case, at least at the time last night, 300. Where is the hunger? Where is everyone? This is what I'm saying. It's okay for people to say, stick around, keep on going. But the moment you move away, oh, we need it, we need it, we need it. Oh, I give you exactly what you want, but can you handle what I have to offer? I don't think so. But, you know, maybe with time, things will change. So, yes, there we go. Robbie Taylor, key individual present. Big shout out to Robbie Taylor. I don't know if anyone else will join along or not, but to be honest, I do want to hop on in shortly. Maybe if we get to about 10 people, it's probably a big ask that, then I'll lock in. If not, I'll just jump on him. We'll see. So in terms of the conversations or the theme of what we're looking at today, oh, there we go. We've got 10. That's what I needed. We'll begin right now. Following on from previous conversations when it came to the last video that I did with Kaden Pressy and his text, the next few conversations as followed. Kaden Pressy was responding back and saying it was Jack Newton that made the cross and that I, Kaden, had helped put it up. So it's one of the two crosses. I can't remember which one, the black one or the white one, maybe in the smaller one, like the memorial spot where Noah's body was to be found. And then after that point on the grass verge area close to the railroad tracks, you had that patch with the cross and the white one, the black cross, some flowers, some bits and bobs together. So, and then ever since the grass being mowed, I think someone mowed it in the pattern or shape writing of Noah's name. You might have seen some photos of that. It's like more of a memorial spot now. Makes sense. And we have heard previously that Jack Newton was the one to put the cross there, but it's a little bit different in terms of wording because Kaden's saying, yeah, Jack made the cross, but Kaden helped in assisting putting it there, maybe digging the hole, maybe putting it in. Is it a major event? No. But what about the atmosphere? At a time so early on when Kaden and Jack would have still been together, friends, best friends, because that's what they were, what was the atmosphere like at the time? Was it awkward? Was it tense? Was it emotional? Did they say anything? Did any of them have a heart-to-heart or a talk as in, do you know what happened to Noah? Do you know who could be responsible? Do you know what's going on? Because that's the other question, isn't it, just in general? When it comes to the early days of the case, more so to party goers, what did people think initially? Was it what happened to Noah or who did that to Noah? Because whenever it's posed that question, as in, who did that to Noah, kind of implies, oh, a level of darkness, foul play, along the lines of that. So, the next point mentioned, in quotes, Jack talking shit to Ariana. And when it comes to Ariana, it's a different Ariana, someone who's not even a party goer, but the name has creeped up here and there in the past. What was the last name? I forgot the last name, to be honest. Is it Henderson? Ariana Henderson? Whatever. I've heard the name mentioned before. Some of you have as well. It was even brought up in old Facebook post when it came to, I guess, a girl, which was probably maybe from the same school as those party goers, maybe even the same class as well, maybe. And Jack Newton had a run-in with Ariana, back and forth, and then Jack brought it up about, and how many times, Ariana, were your nude images leaked around the school or leaked around the area, the general area? What does Ariana have to do with the party? Supposedly no link whatsoever. What do naked images have to do with the case? Not much at all. It's more so the attitude by Jack Newton and his outlook and his wording towards another female, which maybe some people could have said, well, if Jack has that mentality towards a girl, what was his mindset like towards other females at the party which Noah Presgrove attended, and how did he treat other girls, and what was the deal with going behind Noah's back, supposedly, with Noah's girlfriend at the time, with the whole girl trouble stuff? How did they handle it? So, yeah, I believe the bit about Jack talking shit to Ariana, that was brought up by the commenter I think, the one in communication with Kaden. And then there's like a little screenshot of the post, Facebook post comments, which we've already seen before, documented on my channel and in the past as well. And Ariana said, "What do nudes have to do with your best friend dying?" As for the context in regard to why it came up in the first place, that seems to be unknown. But as you know, when it comes to screenshots, it'll only show half of it or the section of the comment thread on Facebook, but not the post of what it was all about for those comments to arrive in the first place. So Jack Newton being called out in a way by Kaden Pressy at the time in the early days of 2023. I don't know the exact month, but it was really early on. With certain outlooks, attitudes different then because it was more tense and more raw still, just like Robin Smith, how she wanted to leak or blast the location of the party birthday girl party host Avery Howard at a baby shower unknown to Robin at the time at a brewery, maybe. In the early days, when bad things happen, you may act, react, and feel a certain way, and then down the line, things may change for the better, for the worse. Who knows? It's different for everyone. And then Ariana added on by saying, "You, Jack, don't have the best track record with hitting and quitting." So that is along the lines of hitting and quitting. At least when I looked at the definition roughly online, and when it comes to casual sexual encounters. So by not having the best track record with that type of stuff, does that mean Jack hasn't had much activity with females, or does it mean Jack has a track record with a lot of casual encounters with females, so he's not in a position to be talking about, oh, you're this and you're that and shame on you and shame on you, and Ariana's hitting back and saying, well, you're no better. It was a bit back and forth as for on Facebook, and this isn't in my words or what I'm saying, it's just what came up in the conversation at the time. Ariana said, so, you know, okay, this happened and that happened. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to admit? That I'm a slut? Yes, I'm a slut. And no, I'm not saying that I am a slut. I'm talking in the words of Ariana at the time. Something to do with, I believe, being a freshman and being a complete slut from their wording, right? Does it link to the case? Nope. Does it link to Noah's death? Does it help solve it? Nope. But Jack Newton, a party goer and best friend to Noah, decided to bring that up towards Ariana as like an insult, a shortcoming. What's the actual aim? Is there any context behind it all kicking off in the first place? Who knows? But it's more so Kaden Pressy's response. We've never seen Kaden Pressy's response before to it. You know, Kaden is best friends to Jack Newton, or at least was at the time. So what was Kaden thinking of that? And he does respond back in the conversations with the unknown member of the general public talking about it. Welcome, Brenda. Welcome to the live stream. Kaden Pressy said, I don't know why Jack Newton, he's been such an arsehole. Okay? And then the person on the other end of the conversation to Kaden responds back saying, truthfully, deep inside, Jack is an ass. You, Kaden Pressy, know a different part of him. And to be honest, it makes sense. If you're in the presence of someone and you may get on well with them, you might be very close, or you might just be best friends. That best friend could be a bad person or have a dark side, but if you're on their correct side and get on well with them and close, there's a chance that maybe they'll show a positive side towards you, but then towards other people, they'll show a negative side. So you might see the nice side of someone, but you're not seeing the ugly, dark side. For a full, healthy situation with someone, depending on the varying levels of how close you are, friends limited, beyond friends more, that you need to be able to see the ugly side of someone or the events that happen, what they go through. You can't just be there for someone when they're at their best, because if you're there for them at their best but not when they're at their worst, you don't deserve to be around them in the first place. No idea with the situation with Kaden and Jack. Okay, best friends, how long for? Who knows? But If Kaden's only seen the positive side of Jack and has done for some time, but others have seen the darker side, is that because Jack chooses to be that way, makes conscious decisions like that? What did Noah Presgrove see in Jack? Did Noah Presgrove see all the positive sides or some negative sides too? Outsiders who interact with Jack may see the darker side, and it's not good, but it also makes sense because I think at times, not for the bad behavior, but I think at times there should be a hierarchical structure of how you approach people and how you respond to people. If you act the exact same to absolutely everyone, including a person that you're very close to, it loses its meaning and value and level of importance. You've got a little hierarchical structure, okay? You address those that you know and close to in a certain way, and then the people that you're semi-well-known with, address them in a certain way, and then complete strangers, basic communication, but still respectful. There should be tiers to it, because if there's no tiers to it, then what does anything mean, okay? Is a person going to straight up sleep with every single person and then sleep with you after? No, it doesn't go to that extreme, even though I like using extreme examples. That one isn't practical. But if a person, let's say, went around kissing everyone left, right, and center, lips were never dried up cracks from overly kissing everyone, it's like, whoa, a little bit too much that. It loses its original value for maybe when it's reserved for a individual. When it comes to friendships, as in if you used to have a close or deep friendship, the chances of deep conversations or sensitive talks and subjects you might hope for. But if that same level of attention and detail was for every other single person, it loses its specialness about it, or at least that's my outlook. As with me, I might have certain strict discipline when it comes to what I do say and what I do use. You won't see me spamming emojis of all kinds to anyone or everyone. I think that's become pretty obvious, but everyone is different. But, you know, with the situation with Kaden and Jack Newton, best friends. Kaden simply friends to Noah, but Noah best friends to Jack. So Jack is best friends to Kaden, Jack's best friends to Noah. It's like a triangular effect. What levels of darkness and positivity did each of us see towards Jack, and then compared to what the general public have come across? I mean, those that have communicated with Jack onwards in the early days about the case, what side did people see? Strawberry says, totally agree, 100%. Appreciate that. Kisses to you too. And ooh, claps. I hope you're giving me a round of applause. You're smacking me on the bottom. Which one? But yeah. So Kaden Pressy, despite being best friends to Jack Newton, what Jack Newton had to say and how treated Ariana, I've got to keep restraining myself from saying Grande because it's not Grande, it's Ariana. Is it Henderson? Or something like that. I keep forgetting the last name, but it's not that important because they're not tied with the case directly. They've just been dragged in somehow by a post or convem. Brenda, I didn't know Jack and Kaden were best friends. Well, I believe it was worded like that from the best of my knowledge from the interviews of Kaden, how it was worded there. I believe best friends. Yeah, because put it this way, Kaden Pressy said he was introduced to Noah by his friend Jack Newton. So in some ways, by default, despite what has already been mentioned by Kaden or Jack, either way around, when you're friends with someone and then that friend introduces you to their friend or whatever, it's because, like in a best friend situation, they're now introducing you to their contacts, their people, whatever that might be. Okay? Mitch, whatever happened to the boys will be boys. The same applies to girls as well now, teenagers. Okay? Boys will be boys, girls will be boys, not girls will be boys, fucking had a tongue twister there, transitioning, oops. Yeah, boys will be boys, girls can be girls, and then you've got that one who's on another level, out of this world, an alien, okay? Gods will be gods, simple as. Anyway, let's not go down that subject because I'm sure I'm going to trigger some Bible basher at one point. Brenda, I thought Kaden was closer to JJ Bumpaz. Well, how do we look at it this way? JJ acquaintances with Jack Newton in the high school period. Kaden knowing JJ before JJ knew of Jack. But wasn't it worded as if JJ or someone was getting Kaden or wanted Kaden to introduce JJ to Jack? So there's like a chain or an order of who knew who first and then who introduced who first to the other, as in a best friend could introduce you, your best friend to your best friend to them. It's just a friend. Let's see. Robert, I've never seen Jack say they were best friends, only Kaden say him and Jack were best friends. Exactly. There we go. It's always good when people can back it up. I know I do remember stuff, but there'll be times where I will doubt it myself. But yeah, Kaden did say that. And as for what interview, I can't quite pinpoint that, but I do remember Kaden saying best friends to Jack Newton. But of course, who knows what Jack Newton could say? Not guaranteed, but Jack could be like, well, yeah, I'm friends with Kaden, but I'm actually more best friends with Noah. Who knows? You could think of discrepancies. You might, and this is the thing, the pattern and trend, what I've noticed just in general in life with humans is you could know someone, they could know you. You may see them as a friend, they see you as a best friend, a little bit unbalanced. You could see someone online as a viewer, supporter. They envision you as their next husband. Oh, I'm married to Raf. I'm married. What is this pattern and trend going on, right? But I've seen it with my eyes. Other people have witnessed it. Unbalanced, not on the same wavelength. One person may think more of the other, and it's unreciprocated. That's bad. That's dark. But then in the more unnatural situations, someone could fantasize even more and even greatly beyond. But before we go any further, oh yeah, there we go. We've got 20 people present. That's good. Robbie Taylor, everyone talks about jealousy at the party. I think it was Kaden that was jealous. Seriously, the guys ditched him when they left, and I think it was Sunday. He doesn't seem like he was well liked. As in, well liked by people who he was familiar with, or not well liked by the girls who he's never seen before, but he also said he did know of them in the past. See, depends how you look at it, who's the popular one, who's not the popular one, who's jealous and who's not, and what end goal or what satisfies you. I mean, it's different for everyone. With Kaden Pressy, if Kaden was dumped off at the house and then the other guys went on, you could feel left out, you could feel undervalued, but who are you dumped off with? Guys, Kaden Pressy was dumped off with all females around, and I don't word it like this, but in the words of the general public online, how they, of certain ages, much older than me and the opposite gender, were kind of fantasizing about Noah, sexualizing him in a way by saying, oh, Noah Presgrove, he can get any girl he wants. All the ladies want him. That's like how it was being worded online. Well, if that's the same mentality what certain said individuals had, are they going to have the same mentality towards Kaden Pressy, who was dumped by the guys, maybe not even dumped, but just simply dropped off with the rest of the girls to hang out with? Would other people be saying, oh, well, Kaden Pressy's so lucky then, he's got so many people all around him? Depends how you look at it. Or will people interpret it as, well, you got a male around 20 females, but that male could be down with the girls, really gay, let's hold all bags, don't worry, I'll be the doorstop, oh my goodness, I'll grab all the coffees as well from Starbucks, don't worry, I've got all your orders, it's gonna get hectic, but it's gonna be under control. That type of person with that type of accent. Take in mind, it was only a few days ago when a individual thought I was gay based on my voice, which is very interesting. Maybe I'll have to introduce them to my 16 other accents. But beside that, we got +1. Sounds like a mobile phone. Welcome, present. What else? Robbie, that's so ick. All those old ladies lusting after Noah. Well, it came across like that, yeah, at the time. So a little drink. Welcome to anyone else that has joined to the live stream. Be sure to rewind back. We're looking at the updates in the case, retrospectively to what's come about, released in recent time, analysing and following up with the never seen before text convos, in which I'm analysing right now with the notes in front of me. Strawberry Ref, who thought you were gay. It was it a day or two ago, the username Awesome Destroyer. I'm aware that they are of a younger age than me, of course, but I think I might have had encounters with them in the past. Kenny Veach case days when you had Artari, who got at times a little bit invested in the case, Kenny Veach related, and possibly overly emotional. Tension, conflict, drama towards me by, at the time, Artari. I believe Awesome Destroyer may have sided with them at one point and kind of went against me. So when it comes to history with people, I don't forget that. But when it comes to the competence levels by people in the true crime cases, well, that's a different story there. Mitch, didn't Kaden's elaborate story come about after he was accused online after not speaking up? That's suspicious. Well, Mitch, in terms of Kaden's elaborate story, the very first one that Kaden posted as for a statement was on Facebook at a later point. It was in 2024 when I was about in the early days. And Kaden said, "I am the owner of the red Cherokee or Cherokee pickup. And I was there at the party and this and that," and went into some detail about it. That was the first statement by Kaden. And he also mentioned that he went to sleep at 3 in the morning, which is incorrect, because we don't know for certain because of the discrepancies. And furthermore, if he had gone to sleep, it wasn't going to sleep, it was going back to sleep, because he originally went to sleep at 2 in the morning. Of course, Kaden said he went to sleep at 11:30 Sunday night. He was pestered prior to. So Kaden Pressy, before being active online social media, was pestered and mentioned and inquired, "You need to speak up, you need to do something." Was there any other party goer in the same situation as Kaden that was not pestered? Like, we've not heard much from Brylan, definitely not heard much from Mikey, Isaac. They were around Kaden to some extent with like the highway situation and when it came to leaving the house when they were supposedly told to. Oh, I've got this chocolate's bigger in my mouth, so it fills my mouth up more, so I can't talk properly. I forgot about that. I shouldn't be eating during a live, because it's a bit rude. As you don't get stuck in my teeth, but it'll probably make my mouth look all black inside. Like a black hole. But yeah, I might have to eat this off camera. I've got the strawberry beside me. That'll be a bit easy. No, it won't be easy. That strawberry's going to be bloody juicy. I'm going to bite into it, it's going to be dripping all over my mouth. Oh well. No, that's fine. Okay. So it's important to acknowledge Kaden Pressy calling his best friend an asshole, which, well, that can happen with any situation with people, right? But considering Kaden tends not to speak out too much, not often, when he puts his foot down, speaks volume. It's okay, Strawberry. Mitch, his parents were also pestered online that Kaden needed to talk. So, are we saying, Mitch, the general public pestered Kaden and Kaden's family? And who exactly did the pestering? My follow-up question would be, if people never pestered Kaden or Kaden's family, would we not get this elaborate story then? Would it have been more natural or just completely quiet? Because if it is the general public, oh, no, Justin did. Well, if that's true, if Justin is the causation behind all of this, is in a way Justin the, what do you call it, the catalyst, the causation behind Kaden and Alicia for some reason making it sound a certain way, which it wasn't. Would it have been better off if Justin hadn't pestered them, supposedly? OG, greetings. Greetings from Canada. That's good to see. Welcome. Don't get too many people watching from Canada, so that's positive. I know there's a handful of people that come from Australia or New Zealand, some from Germany as well. Welcome to anyone else that has joined in the background, but I'll just continue on just for a little bit, okay? Person responding back, truthfully, deep inside, he is an ass, you can know a different side of him. Kaden Pressy responds to that and says, yeah, I'm starting to see that now. Around the time of when Jack was speaking badly to Ariana. Kaden Pressy, yeah, I'm starting to see that dark side of my best friend. It's a key turning point, that. OG, great content, knows no bounds, appreciate that. You do have a good profile picture, mysterious atmosphere, stands out, even though the profile picture is very small, it does stand out. I mean, look at how strawberry yours really does stand out. But if Kaden Pressy is starting to see it now, as in the darker side of Jack, was that a bit of an influence, as in Kaden parting ways with Jack in some sense? I know it has been worded that it was Alicia that didn't want Noah, didn't want Kaden, her son, to be around someone like Jack because it'd been a bad influence, and in the case it was problematic. And did Kaden at any point want to distance himself from Jack because of seeing that darker side of him? Okay, and so it just been all Alicia. Did Kaden and his own mindset have an impact? Brenda, I'm sure someone wanted Kaden to go public since his time and recollections was different than the others. Of course, Brenda, that being the case, that someone would have to have known before it was made public and be in contact with Kaden to hear about those discrepancies. So if that links back to Justin, interesting. Would it have been any easier on the case if those discrepancies were kept to Kaden to himself and never spoke out? So Kaden does what he thinks best, work with authority, not let the general public or the gossipers know about it. And then the general public would be completely ignorant to it, but also ignorant towards the headaches and the confusion. So it could be the best for everyone. And then in the background, when it comes to the outcome, it gets sorted that way properly. One way of looking at it. Very warm. What else do we have? Kaden Pressy was trying to talk her into going to grab lunch and a coffee. Conversation moves on to Kaden Pressy at a later point, trying to reach out to Ariana, who's been on the receiving end of Jack at the time for the mention of the nude photos being leaked about, bringing it back up to it as like some kind of insult and making her feel bad about it. And Kaden's like, well, I'm trying to comfort her. I want to be there for her. Must be friends to some extent, right? And what Kaden was trying to do in the conversation response back, Ariana said to Kaden, I'm sorry, I don't trust anyone anymore. Just weird timing. I don't plan on getting jumped. That's mentioned in general, but Kaden's response to that was, do you really think that I would jump you? Now, I don't know if it's a slang word that, but normally jump could mean you're getting jumped in public. You're walking about, maybe more so as a female, male comes along out of nowhere, pounces on you, but not for the right reasons, and causes distress psychologically, physically, may go beyond that. Jumping as in being robbed, jumping as in a person wants something from you or to take something from you, and it's no consent's given. And Kaden Pressy interpreted Ariana's response as in Ariana thought Kaden was just as bad as Jack, supposedly. Welcome to anyone else that's joined along. We got Larry, welcome. Mickaleen Walgren, welcome. Mitch, I think they made their story so different to distance themselves. Okay, an opinion, fair enough. But you'd think, whilst they may want to distance themselves, as in Kaden Pressy, Alicia, and them lot, because theirs do stand out from everybody else, by distancing yourself, by standing out, it's actually going against what you hope for. The more you stand out, the more you're going to be questioned. The more you stand out, the more eyes you're going to have on you. It's like if I went outside now, dressed up as a massive green bean, people are going to give me some funny looks. I know Strawberry will probably be extremely hungry and want to put me on a plate with a knife and fork, but that's not the point. if I go out dressed up as a giant green bean and I'm like, well, I'm doing this because I want to lay low, I'm doing the complete opposite. I'm going to get questioned, I might get interrogated, and other stuff as well. I might get sent back to the shop. So you think you're doing the right thing, but it's more detrimental to your end goal. Mitch, they only stand out to rational people. So, what percentage are we talking then? Okay. So for Ariana to say, I'm sorry, I don't trust anyone anymore, it can happen. You don't trust anyone, you don't trust anything. But a range of people will say that, but not actually mean it with actions. People will say, oh, I don't trust anyone, I'm such a lone wolf, oh my God. But then they'll be straight up having a fucking conversation with a stranger like it's nothing, all nicey smiley. Two-faced fake twat, okay? If you don't trust people, literally no one, you stick to yourself. Yeah, you're fucked, you're limited. It's not great, might be boring, might be dull, but you're consistent. There's a lot of fake people out there that claim to be this or that, to have this or not to have that, and then they end up having it, or they end up demonstrating it. I've seen too much of it, I can't stand it. When I say I don't trust people, it'll become very apparent and clear, right? When I say I do trust people, it'll become extremely apparent and clear to the point where I will go to the depths that absolutely no other human can go to, psychologically speaking and stamina-wise. That is a fact. It's been proven, and it can be proven again and again at times. But when you don't trust anyone, why is Ariana then messaging Kaden, or at least responding back? If you don't trust anyone, don't even bother responding, right? See, I've come across humans at times that say, oh, you don't need this, you don't need that, you can't trust people, you can't trust people online, you don't bother with people online. And a fucking hypocrite ended up going across to bloody Egypt to fucking talk to some, I don't know, person called Abdul or something with a bloody camel. Excuse me? You've been there, you've done that, but you're telling me that I can't? Is this stupid? As someone that may have drunk alcohol or taken some stuff, and then they say to others, no, you can't do it, you can't do it. Based on your experience, based on your incompetence, based on your recklessness, based on your encounter, it might be different for another person. Another person might need to experience it themselves instead of just hearing it from your words. I've come across other people as well that said, oh, yeah, don't trust anyone. No, you don't need to trust anyone, Ralph. You don't need to talk to anyone. Just leave it as it is. And they've got a fucking family set up. Oh, well, you're issuing all that, but you're not following your own words, you stupid twat. Humans, I've seen it, but luckily I've not seen it in recent times. So that's a bit of a positive. +1, different story spotlights them. As in makes them stand out. So what we're dealing with, that the Pressys want the spotlight, they want to stand out, be unique and quirky, or they want to lay low, but their actions actually go against that. What are we saying about that? So I've got to shove another bit of chocolate in my mouth. I would want to suck on it, but it would take too long. Oh my God, I've got a lisp when I'm eating. I said I would suck on it, but then it would take too long. Okay. I'm sweating as well. Not a good combination. What else do we have? You wonder why I'm looking down? Because the notes are in front of me. Where it's like I would do during like a live premiere. Right. We're done with that. Kaden Pressy was understanding them and realised it was what chocolate is it? Well, the thing is, Strawberry, if I was to tell you now, you'd probably grab me by the ear, take me to that shop with the shittest signal possible and force me to buy some watermelons, because I have what I had last time, which was the dark chocolate, in which you ended up being disappointed in me, okay? So don't be taking me to that store because the signal was horrendous. What signal? I don't know. Kaden Pressy mentioned, talked 1 hour to Ashley. Who the hell is Ashley? Well, one of two people, really. Some kind of authorities, or Ashley in which Kaden meant to say, I believe, Avery Howard. Because some of the previous conversations and text, what we looked at in previous videos, Kaden kept referring to Avery Howard as Ashley or something like that. But I think on this occasion, this Ashley is literally called Ashley, and it's a different person and not related to the party. Talking on the phone for 1 hour long. Who knows how many phone calls have gone on in this case with different people. I'll tell you something, there's handfuls that will have convos with some people out there and then be surprised afterwards as to why that one person leaked it all online or somewhere. And it's like, if you see there's a person with a track record with leaking people's phone calls or text messages, then why do you jump into it yourself and become a victim to it? If you see the patterns, you see it before and you see it enough times, then why put yourself into that same process, right? Not really happened to me. Only came across 1 or 2 occasions in the Dylan Brown's case, casual conversations, nothing that deep whatsoever, was posted public, didn't lead to any problems, but I was extremely disappointed in the individual, told them off like a naughty individual that they were, and that was it, game over from there. So yeah, if you do come across someone or some people, in terms of what you say, in terms of what you reveal, case or not, give it a bit of time, maybe trust your instinct, and then pull the trigger, whichever way that means, and then go from there. I think there's a lot of, I don't know how you'd word it, vulnerable but not psychologically, people in the community and case that might not quite think in the moment, and then afterwards it goes wrong, and then they're like, oh, and some people just don't learn at all from that. That's a problem. We've got 22 people watching right now. Welcome. What else do we have here? So 1 hour call with Ashley and Kaden Pressy, talking about what he knows and stuff, and she was asking Kaden about who you think killed Noah or who you think did what they did to Noah, which is basically interpreted as a death situation, foul play. Whoever this Ashley person is, if they're part of the authorities, a professional individual, the fact that so early on in the case, even though it wasn't officially treated as a murder case or something like that, you got this operative, you got this person on the call that's asking Kaden a very specific question of, who do you think killed Noah? Who do you think did it to Noah? Why not word it as in, Kaden, tell us what you know of. And may I ask you something, Kaden, do you think that the outcome could be of a dark nature, or was it an accident? But when you asked a closed off specific question, you're going to get a very specific response and answer, and it's not natural, very selective. So early on the case for a professional. Ashley Chadwick, who knows? If it's Ashley Chadwick, it would make more sense. But unfortunately, even in these text conversations, the bloody last names are not mentioned. So that does not help whatsoever. And take in mind, Kaden kept referring to Ashley in the previous text convos from the 2nd of October 2023, but that was more so to do with Avery. But at times, Kaden would call Avery Ashley. You wonder why we get mixed up with names. Spencer, I'm chewing something, dark chocolate, nearly finished 2. Oh, there we go. I mean, the thing is, Spencer, when it comes to desserts, I get extremely hungry. And I can eat a lot. And even when I'm finished, I'm not quite satisfied. But I've got to control myself like a good boy. I've got to be a good boy, okay? Because if not, I'm probably going to turn into a balloon, and I don't want to undo what I've done up to now. Strawberry with the face palms. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, because that's what I did, didn't I? American sweets. Oh, there we go. Wait, is Spencer from the UK? We've got Tammy. Welcome. Welcome to the other people that have joined along the way. Catching up with Kaden Pressy in these never seen before texts summarized by me. Moving on though, regardless of who that Ashley individual was, if it really was Ashley Chadwick, I could understand the outlook as in, Who do you think killed Noah? Because I'm sure Ashley was be thinking something along the lines of that. Spencer says, yeah, from the UK, that's good. We're growing a little bit more of a UK audience on this channel, which is a good thing in a way. Coming across key people. Now, the person on the end of the convo with Kaden in the DMs, unknown individual to me, had responded to Kaden saying, I don't think Jack Newton hurt Noah, but I do think he knows who did. Just got to move the strawberry for a second. I mean, we've had that conversation already. People have given their theories and ideas. Yeah, some people from the army page were bold to state without any facts or evidence to say that Jack is the murderer. Along the way, people like me and others have thought, well, maybe Jack isn't responsible, but if Jack knows something or about someone, and he's not saying much because he's either protecting them or he's in trouble himself, you could kind of understand that difficult position that you're in. Yeah, it's still probably best to speak out and do what you're doing. Do it for your best friend that's no longer here. Of course, you put that forwards, but unless there's any other stipulations or problematic situations. And of course, when I did it, it was only mentioned as a theory, an idea, and that was all. What I will always say, I do find it interesting how Jack Newton decided to mention details which were never mentioned before that, but in 2024, months later, with Partners in True Crime, about Logan being the last person to see Noah walk away, which I never heard of before, and that Noah supposedly had only one shoe on. Mismatched shoes, but only one shoe was on Noah's foot. Left or right, I can't remember. Why was that not mentioned by Jack earlier? At least to my knowledge, I didn't see it. So it's a bit unusual. Besides that, this is where it gets really important, okay? So remember, the general public says, I think that Jack Newton knows who did kill Noah. Kaden Pressy responds, I 100% agree with you. So Kaden Pressy, who he considers his best friend Jack Newton, and in the interviews as well, publicly, where Kaden said, I hope not, and I hope none of the party goers are linked, not confident. Kaden Pressy in the public interview saying he's not confident, he's not guaranteed locked on that Jack knows who may have done it, and yet Kaden Pressy in his private conversation said to that unknown individual that I 100% agree with you that Jack knows of the person or people that killed Noah or hurt Noah. Really? So what Kaden believes in regard to his best friend Jack in the background privately is vastly different to the public perspective. Maybe you've got to be that way to protect yourself, or to, if you did mention it out publicly, you could get attacked even more and it might be detrimental to yourself. So you've got to play it smart, play it safe. Who knows? But it's just, it might come down to how you interpret it and look at it yourself. But I think it speaks volume that. Strawberry, I am so disappointed eating chocolate without a cuppa is unacceptable. Well, firstly, Strawberry, do you think it's a good idea to be mixing dark chocolate with a cuppa? Because that's what I'm eating, if I hadn't reminded you. And secondly, do I look like a teapot? I know a lot of liquid might come out of my mouth and a bit of steam comes out of my ears if I'm very passionate, but besides that, does it look like I need topping up a Warlight Raft, a little singing, dancing teapot? Oh, fill me up with some warm or cold water. Well, you'll be filling me up in a matter of seconds, won't you, Strawberry? There's no trouble there. But, I'm the tea maker, but I don't make my own because I don't drink it. I only have cold liquid. Some hot liquid, maybe an exception, but I do have cold liquid. So unless, Strawberry, you expect me to be dipping chocolate into flavoured water. Ooh. Strawberry. Naughty boy. Is that Sam? Am I really? Larry says, wow, very interesting. What, about me being a teapot or the case? Okay. Well, Strawberry, you'll have to do something about that, won't you? Put me in my place. Anyway. Where are we at now? Kaden Pressy then mentioned in the conversation that I talked to some older... hold on a minute. If I open the thing up. Yeah. So just as a heads up, in case people didn't know, the mention of Kaden Pressy onwards talking to Ashley, asking who you think killed Noah, and then the mention of agreeing that Jack knows who killed... Kaden Pressy agreeing that Jack knows of a person that may have hurt or killed Noah. That conversation on Facebook Messenger took place October 19th, 2023 onwards. So some days passing on quite a bit. Okay. That's there. So Kaden Pressy said, I talked to some older PI lady today. An older PI in the very early days of the beginning. Kaden talking with who? No name mentioned. How do you interpret it though? An old PI lady. Kathy Bingham, maybe? Seems likely, Kathy Bingham. What else do we have here? Kaden Pressy was going on about, yeah, me and Jack Newton still talk here and there, and that's in October of 2023 and a bit before that. Talking here and there, but not as close. At what month? Was it 2023? Or was it early 2024 when Kaden actually parted ways with Jack, or vice versa, with or without the interference of Alicia, had a knock-on effect with the other partygoers distancing themselves from Kaden, and then Kaden being a lone wolf? Did that happen in 2023 or 2024? If anybody knows, let me know in the comment section right now. Because if it was at a later point in time for Kaden to say we talk here and there as of 2023, best friends talking here and there. Of course, due to location, geographically speaking, and life changes and moments in life where you might not be able to communicate much or hang out much. Come on, people these days, the age that they are, and glued to phones to some extent, not everyone. It's not that difficult to send a message. It's not that difficult to call, right? I mean, I've come across people in the past myself. Can't do this, can't do that. Come on, bitch. You're glued to your phone 24/7. It's not that difficult. Get a grip of yourself, right? People just make up excuses. They might just not want to, and that's fine. But they'll make up excuses instead of being honest. And down the line, that has its own problems and causes its own trouble, right? I've seen it myself. So, besides that, okay, talking here and there, casually, positively, who knows? But if that's of October 2023 and before, up to the freshness of the Noah's death, talking here and there as best friends, but maybe not full on enough, it kind of raises the questions of, was Kaden already cautious of Jack Newton in the very early days, even if the focus is elsewhere, that others pulled away from Kaden or Alicia caused that divide? Maybe Kaden was a little bit wary of Jack in the early days to just be talking here and there. You could interpret it that way, maybe. Moving on. Kaden Pressy response to Shandon. Forgot the last name, but Shandon, or Shady, is the... Well, actually, I called them Shady. I didn't mean that as about the dodgy, it's just how I pronounced it. Never mind. Shandon, Saturday night, blonde hair, female, slapping Noah, that person, that footage. Kaden responds to that video clip and mentioned in his words, quoted, I'm 90% sure the white shirt guy in the background is Carson Myers. I've heard of that name, not really mentioned enough in the case. How significant is Carson Myers? And on what days was Carson Myers at the party present? Saturday, likely. Sunday, Monday, yes or no? Does anyone know? And on top of that, Kaden said, I'm pretty sure those are Texas boys. Not so much Carson Myers, but I guess the others that were around him in the background of the footage. Kaden Pressy also said, actually we'll get to that in a second because it is quite important considering what's going on in the case. What else do we have? Micheline, I thought he said he thought Carter and Colton did it with golf clubs. I'm not up to date apparently. I'm just going to stand up for a second because I'm really aching sore. Oh God, I'm so wet. Oh my God. Oh God, I'm so wet. It's because I've got the window closed. The shorts are absolutely wet from behind. all over wet. Anyway, McLean, I thought he said, okay. So from what I've seen, what I've looked at myself with conversations, text messages, Facebook Messenger, to do with Alicia Lee and Justin Roy. Alicia Lee said, I think that Carter Combs went up to Noah, whacked him on the head or round the back, and then ran away, and then the others finished him off. That's what Alicia said, what she thinks, not Kaden. Okay? In my opinion, Larry says, there are people at the party knows what really happened. Mitch, I've heard that story too, Walgren. Oh, is that Sam? So was Alicia influenced by what Kaden said, or did Alicia give her own thoughts? Because she said, I think, not what Kaden said, right? When Ellie asked him why he thought that, his response was, that's what he heard. That's what he heard. I mean, it is documented on my channel, don't worry. It's documented on my channel where Alicia clearly said to Justin Roy, I think that one of the girls, maybe Carter, if the name was included, went up to Noah, whacked him on the head with a golf club, then ran away, and then other people jumped on in and finished him off. Seems Kaden and Alicia have lots of stories. I'm just going to continue on, or at least finish off here. So the other person brought it up about, was Caleb Newton at the party? And I know a lot of people will be like, really? Really? No proof, no evidence of that. It's just rumors. Well, Kaden Pressy himself. You think of all the people that are Team Kaden Pressy. You think of all the people from the army page that may have pushed the idea that Caleb was at the party. Well, Kaden Pressy said, nope, that's not Caleb in the background. Not there whatsoever. 100% was not there. Kaden Pressy says Caleb was 100% not at the party. There we go. We finally get a little bit of a consensus, what people probably wanted from Kaden in a way. So that's where Kaden heard it. Who knows? George Choden to Brenda. Yes, in the OHP interview, Kaden said that what's being said in the Facebook groups, Justin's army, etc. Very embarrassing to him say that to Ellie. So do you know what I want to say, George? If Kaden heard it from Facebook, for example, Justin, well, it just so happens that Justin heard it from Alicia. So did Alicia take it upon Kaden unknowingly for Alicia to say what she thinks? Justin interpreted it as, what, a fact or something different? Or interpreted or assumed that Kaden said it, and then it was posted on Facebook about this is what's happened, and then Kaden sees it for the very first time. Did Alicia go behind Kaden's back? In that order? Round and round? Maybe. Okay. So it appears I've finished the notes there for the never seen before details from the point of view of Kaden Pressy. There'll be more parts coming up within the days or so. What I want to finish it off with now is the comment section of a video that I did in recent time to do with the case, because there was about 50 or 58 comments. I wanted to include that, which I'll get to shortly. I'll just finish off the bit of chocolate, and then we'll continue on. And then towards the end, if people have any questions, or if people want to delay my countdown, you can do that. You're welcome to. Behind the scenes. To be honest, Strawberry, I bet you're thinking, thank God Raf's put something in his gob to shut him up. Mitch, instead of Donna's house, it should be Alicia's phone. Strawberry, oh, don't think too hard on that, please. Micheline, yeah, she really does tell her own story, it seems. So, we've got to be honest. Whilst people can say, oh, Kaden and Alicia are in on it as for creating an elaborate story, could you argue and say, unfortunately, at times, Alicia has gone rogue against Kaden? I don't think we've got to it yet, and I hope it's within the screenshots, but there is somewhere where Kaden Pressy does say, whoa, my mother has twisted my words. Meant in a bit of a joking way. But as you know, I always like to upscale it and think, well, if she's going to twist your words, what else has she twisted? In regard to words, specifically. George and Alicia is constantly having to correct Kaden's story. For the wrong reasons, you mean? Right, let's just wash this down with a bit of water. 25 people watching, present, welcome. More people showing up for this compared to the Kenny Veach case, even though the Kenny Veach case is hotter than this case. Very interesting. I don't want to leave this too long because it's probably going to go very dry. I just want to test the camera. What's the focus like? It's not that good, but then again, because it being YouTube, it's going to be light, limited quality, isn't it? Little yellow pips, big pips. Mitch, wait till they pull that boy in for a deposition without her. Sheecha. I mean, how well do you think Kaden Pressy handled himself in the June 2024 interview without the presence of Alicia when Kaden was speaking? Was he more or less coherent compared to the parts in True Crime one? You still there, Strawberry? No, I'm not talking to this. I'm talking about actual Strawberry. Oh, that's scented, that one. Where's all the scent gone? Micheline, oh my God, so confusing. George, when Kaden was doing the OHP interview, Alicia was parked right outside the door. Oh no. Really? Brenda, raspberries and blackberries are good this year. Is that Sam? Well, we'll taste test this one right now. Very wet inside. Base part, excuse me. Oh, sorry, it's because I bit into it, I didn't nibble it. Sorry. Days and times, he seemed confused. I still don't know if he was there Friday or not. It was a bit all over the place. Very wet inside. A little bit tarty. I don't mind that. McLean, he says yes, she says no, so. Yeah, it's getting hotter in here. I'll have to speed up a little bit. Just a little bit. Just make sure I've catched up on everything here. Oh my God, is that 100 notifications? Wow. That's what happens when you don't look for a while. Bloody hell, 99 notifications on TikTok. Bloody hell. No, YouTube, get off. Wait, am I even signed in? Oh, clever. I'm not even signed in. So I'll have to search for my own channel. I can technically watch myself live on a different device. Not that I do that, because that's just a bit weird. Which one is it now? Is it that one? The never seen before audio? Yeah, that's one thing I notice is when I am live, if a person goes onto my channel or search for me, the profile picture of me is highlighted in red, meaning it's live. So if you click on the profile picture, it'll go directly to my live stream, I believe. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm just catching up with the comment section like what I would normally do in my videos and whatnot, you'd be familiar with. Strawberry, excuse me, tarty. Very much so. That particular strawberry, I'm sure they can all taste different, but it was really juicy and wet inside. It was sweet, but it was just a bit tingly on the tip of my tongue and down the back of my throat. The size of it was decent. The shape, the curves, and the pips. But I have seen bigger pips on others. The green stuff, yeah, I'm not too interested in that. But I do have one particular one reserved, and it is a bit larger in size. Not the really big ones, but just a bit bigger. I think it's a bit more rounded as well. Anyway, we need to focus in on the comments, don't we? Welcome to anyone else that has joined on in. A person called Peekaboo. We've come across Jorge Garcia and says, okay, listen, lady, stop lying, stop protecting your boy. Basically, this person called Jorge is responding to Alicia. Rebecca Gagliari says, what lady? Who is this to? Well, because of the video that I did and the theme of it, Jorge Garcia is saying to Alicia, stop protecting your boy and stop lying. Okay. They also say, we don't believe you, Lady Dallas, Texas. Who the hell's Lady Dallas, Texas? Is that where Alicia's from or once? Who knows? Junie says, interesting, thanks. You're welcome. I can't heart or respond to comments because I'm not signed in. I am here, but not elsewhere. Junie, of course, they're all protecting the families. This is not a far out message. Makes sense. All protecting their families. I am on the dark side, says Chris P, as in crisp, not the pig from last night, but Chris, as in the guy that supposedly hit a hog down the highway at the time of the Noah Presgrove case and situation. Darkside says, Chris P isn't a liar. He had nothing but nice things to say about the Pressys. He said he wasn't friends with the others. But Alicia is the one that was saying Chris is one of the biggest liars about. We've got Rachel Miller, who is an absolute tool of a person. And whilst they may have a family themselves, as for their parenting abilities, I hope they're not instilling a level of impetuous attitudes into the mindset of offspring, because Rachel Miller with wonky sunglasses and blonde hair is the same individual that made false claims about Warlike Raft being paid off and whatnot. Now, I don't know if we're going to come across any incompetent comments by Michelle Rachel, in the moment, but we'll get to that in a second. Bloody hell, my stomach won't stop rumbling. My stomach is absolutely fucked, but I'm going to keep on going. Screw the dodgy stomach. Oh my God, who's that outside there? God, they've got a shit haircut. I just saw something strawberry. Some person was walking down the garden. Obviously not mine. We're not going to get a stranger down the garden unless it's you. But there was some person walking down the garden before. Their haircut was absolutely shit, okay? Just as a heads up, okay? It was short hair, bun. You could say, oh, was it a messy bun? No, it was just a disaster. I thought I'd just tell you that, strawberry, because, you know, need the updates, don't we? I think there's people giving up commenting now in the live chat. I don't know. Rachel Miller says, what are the odds that he thought he hit a pig? Well, it was a hog, actually. Right on that desolate strip of highway, right around the time of Noah's passing. I call BS, bold-faced lie. We do, but they've disappeared now. Chris Pyatt. So Chris's comment is still present in a response thread, but Chris's main comment calling out Alicia was deleted, not by me, by himself, who knows, by YouTube, who knows. Chris says to Rachel, I did my part, I went forward that same day. So you're telling me the police didn't detect any human blood on my truck for no reason? You're a goof if you think I could live with myself after killing someone. So even if Chris misunderstood the timing or, you know, what happened in the moment, as long as Chris reacted and responded as soon as possible, which he supposedly did, even if it led to a dead-end outcome, it's better that than keeping quiet. So that's all fine there. Brenda responded to Chris saying, you did the right thing from day one by going to LE. Keep your head up. Bagao says, thank you for coming forwards to the LE the same day. Also, it helps that Chris, if it is truly the real Chris Pyatt, actually commented on my channel. So that's how you can monitor and learn things as you go along. John, is it John? John, no H as the Carter Newton camp knows something, in my opinion. Welcome to the live stream. What else do we have? OnePlus, Justice for Noah, of course. Fazza, shout out to them. Moment Charles said, oh, but that's a long one. Oh, goodness. I don't know why what Kaden says about knowing which person or not. This is nothing to do with Noah. We need people to be concentrating on finding out what happened to Noah. This Kaden thing, it's going around in circles, in my opinion. In my opinion, there is corruption happening in Noah's case. Police are protecting the ones involved because they know them. Someone or person at the party, I believe, did it. Oh God, that person's come out again with that shit haircut. Strawberry, get here right now. Sort that hair out. Oh yeah, they're hiding around the bush. Why is that? Embarrassed? No, I'm joking. Well, not about the haircut. Jam, there we go. Jam sandwich, strawberry jam. That's their username. What else do we have? We need people to be concentrating on finding Kaden. Yeah, around circles. There is corruption happening. Someone or person at the party, I believe, did it. That's what you think. That's fine. No doubt in my mind. I don't know which one or ones yet, but I bet it's one or several of his friends. It surely isn't Kaden that did it. That's why Kaden is brought up often and discussed a lot, because you'll think that he was involved in Noah's being unalive. No, I think most people don't believe. Oh my God, it's got so dark also. I don't know if it's the screen brightness or the lighting. I'll have to turn the light on then. There we go. Hey, why is my thumb red? Oh my God. What I didn't know was the strawberry squirted on me before, I think. It's fucking strawberry liquid or something stuck on me and it won't go away. Is it scented? Is that scented? Oh yeah, I like that smell. That's a positive then. Why is Kaden surely didn't? This is why Kaden's brought up a lot. Now, I think most people in the community that bring up Kaden a lot isn't because people think that Kaden did it, but because Kaden's inconsistencies are a bit of an issue. Rachel Miller, the incompetent one, says, it's because it's a diversion tactic. In psychology, it's called projection. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, we're talking about psychology class. Don't tell me I've got to put my glasses and lab coat on. Fuck me. Strawberry, positives. There's probably a lot more where that came from. Okay, let's just continue what Rachel has to say. In psychology, it's called projection. This guy being paid off to project onto Kaden. Sorry, I'm biting my face, shit. This, oh, I've got to sit down for this one. Rachel says, this guy's, I think what Rachel meant to say based on her previous comments is that this warlike ref guy is being paid off to project onto Kaden. What people with brains have been doing to the party kids, the stories keep changing. It's all a facade, and anyone with an ounce of God-given discernment can see right through it. Are you regarding yourself as a bit of a religious individual because you seem to be a bit religiously delusional because you don't understand the scriptures of Raf 3:16, do you? Thou shalt not make impetuous, incompetent comments. But that's already happened. Do we have any responses? Micheline, geez, it's an observation that his story isn't as consistent as originally thought. Observations are very important. I use them a lot, more than most humans. So Rachel Miller believes that I, warlike Raf, am being paid off to divert attention as a form of psychological manipulation in attacking Kaden Pressy. Do I look like I'm being paid off? Let's be realistic. You look at the super chats, you look at the super stickers. Are they coming through left, right, and center? Boom, boom, boom? Nope. You look at PayPal. Are they coming through? Boom, boom, boom? Hardly. Am I still here? Yeah. Am I still making videos? Yeah. Well, there we go. That's pretty much summarized it, hasn't it? Welcome, Cleo, to the live stream. There we go. We've got John, key individual. John says, John, someone at the party did what exactly? We don't even know if it was a murder, manslaughter, or anything like that. Strawberry, ridiculous, and BS. Fazza says to John, you're one of these fake people that are trying to sway me people another way, are you? I personally would say John Doe isn't a fake. They are who they are based on their own account. I think they've got their own videos on their own channel, so they've already, established themselves to a small extent. As for their real name, well, they, I guess, choose not to show it. That's fine. That's fair enough. You don't have to show it. Okay, whatever that means. I'm really getting sick of this crap every time. If someone's got an opinion of something at the party was involved, oh, we're wrong, and people like, you were right, BS. Remember, this is all about no, not you, mate. Just one little thing, Fazza. I mean, I know you're responding to John, but the original comment thread, or no, one of the earlier responses is by Rachel Miller, falsely claiming with no evidence whatsoever that Warlight Ref is being paid off in the case to attack Kaden Pressy. I'm sure you think that's a bit unusual, right? Because we've not seen any evidence of that. And John says, I'm one of these fake people with an account that is 12 years old. There we go. That's one thing people forget. I've got extensive experience when it comes to fake accounts. You can get an impersonation account, which is, fake. A person pretending to be somebody else who they're not. You can get a person that's got their own account, which is unique username, unique profile picture, and that is it. It means nothing, right? But a default account which has been created within the last day or two or month, and they're being toxic or negative, likely they're a fake, because that's what I've come across most of the time. And I've come across a small portion of that in the Noah Presgrove one, and I've got an idea where it came from as well, or the type of people that come from it. So, if you've got a really old account, then you're not as fake in that sense, right? And even if you were a bad person or saying bad stuff, at times with the exception that you're not really fake, you're just showing who you really are, your true colours, even if it's not that positive, it is what it is. Anyway, John says, so to Fazza, so you are allowed an opinion, but I can't have one. You're allowed to have an opinion, but no one else is allowed to comment or question it. Lol, you're one of those people that keeps claiming murder when you or I do not know if that is true. Funny how that works, right? The police haven't said that it was a murder. The DA's office hasn't said it was murder. Medical examiner hasn't either. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Fazza believing in murder, thinking it's murder, but if you know it is, or you have, or something like that, do you have the evidence to back it up? Likely no. Fazza says, yes, everyone has their opinions. That's the problem. This case is not going to be solved because of people's interference. After this, I'm keeping out of it. I'm tired of all the BS. Something fishy is definitely going on. Well, the thing is, Fazza, you could argue and say opinions don't solve cases. And then there's Warlight Ref, the individual, the one, the map analysis analyzer that was the one in the Dylan Brown's case to come up with quite a few theories, ideas and thoughts, and it ended up linking or tying in with the actual outcome of the case, and backed up with evidence down the line. So it might not directly assist the authorities, but be on the right wavelength to expect the next outcome in the case. And I was pretty on point, and every single prediction I basically made in the case and community happened. The same exact thing here with the Noah Presgrove case. So my opinions at times, my predictions at times, might not 100% solve the case on the spot, but it's having the same directional wavelength as maybe the way the case is going. And if everyone having an opinion is a bad thing, well then, when it comes to the whole form of discussions and debates, they wouldn't exist if people didn't all have different opinions. It just depends how people handle it when they've got their opinions, and we've seen people abuse it. A person called Steven says, police involved in this crime from clothed and then naked, how come they don't investigate law enforcement? Do we have the hard evidence that the police are involved? White Lightning says, y'all keep throwing Chris's name in the mix, even though his vehicle had been tested by OSBI and came back clean. George, I'm predicting a few people are going to get charges filed, but nothing to do with Noah's open investigation. I'm on the dark side said, no, it's talking about Alicia bringing him up, calling him a liar for no reason. She's an ass. And Andrea says, Chris did the right thing. He came forward immediately upon realizing that could be an option. No one's blaming Chris. Oh, here we go. Here's incompetent Rachel Miller. How much are they paying you, Warlight Ref, to paint Kaden as a liar? You're a sellout. I mean, calling me a sellout when you're a cheapskate user, in a sense. You come, you consume the content, you do not show any support, just negative comments and false claims made. Waste of space, oxygen. Well done, keep it going. How much are they paying me? I'm not even getting paid in peanuts or strawberries. Or mostly bananas. That I am painting Kaden as a liar. Kaden, I've not said that Kaden is a liar. I believe I've never said that in my videos straight up. I never said that Kaden is a liar. But I have said that Alicia has come across as a liar based on hard evidence. And of course, I can't show you that video because YouTube took it down, didn't they? I'll have to re-upload it then, won't I, in another format. When Alicia said, oh, I called my mother-in-law Dorothy at 10:59 Monday, the day of Noah's death. And that phone call number that she rung was not Dorothy's, it was JJ Bumpers. 100%. Alicia lied. Why? Kaden Pressy along the way, I said, hasn't lied, but has been very inconsistent with time from the stuff being leaked and things being revealed. It's not been a good look on him. What's that weird clicking sound? Mitch, the whole time you only speak the truth. Appreciate that. So, why is it the first thought in a person's mind for them to just assume that Warlight Ref is being paid off? Why the theme of being paid off? Is it because Rachel has seen some super chats and then jumped to the conclusion that, oh, well, that must mean being paid off? Because that's really cringe-worthy. What I find absolutely pathetic is the reality is when someone's normally paid off, it's not publicly made public, is it? It'll be in the background, it'll be a little transfer. Oh, here's 10,000, here's 50,000, here's $100,000 to keep your mouth shut. Here's 378,000 to change the narrative in a different way. Has that happened to me? Nope. Has it ever happened to me? Nope. So there we go. There's a difference between being paid off and then people showing public support or some kind of support for the channel, a channel which isn't all or for Noah, but for many different things because I'm a hybrid. McLean, everyone is paid off. They don't accuse Noah's friends. Could follow that mentality. John responds to Rachel and says, lol, so Alicia's own words, text between Alicia and Kaden, is Raf being paid? Lol. Rachel, what are you talking about? Is that a question? Brenda says to Rachel, Warlight Ref is not a sellout. If you don't like the content, send him some that you approve of with supporting documentation. Fair enough. Oh my God, that's a long one. John with a long response to Rachel, incompetent Miller. If you can't figure out a response to your how much are they paying you make Kaden look like a liar, then that is on you. My question is that why would someone need to pay Warlight Raf or anyone to try and make Kaden look like a liar? The reality is that Kaden's own words, his mom's words, text messages, pictures, witnesses, etc. from Kaden have made him look like a liar. So they've done it to themselves, shot themselves in the foot. Do I think that Kaden is lying? Definitely not in the beginning. I do believe that his time frame is off. The reason that I feel this way is because I believe that Kaden did look at his phone and see the time that he claims. At the same time, I believe that Kaden was still drunk, and the time that he claims is the time that he saw when he checked his phone and was a time from an unread text message instead. Who knows? I had a text on my phone this morning, and when I picked up my phone, the first thing that I saw before putting in my password was an unread message with the time that it came in, not the actual time oh, let's not talk about messages or texts as in regards to the times of when they come in and come through and when they're sent and when they're not. That's going to give me PTSD flashbacks to dodgy messages, dodgy signals, dodgy Wi-Fi. I'm going to start growling in a second. Cleo, Raf, apologies for those allegations towards you. It's fine. I mean, you're not the one that made those claims about me. But I do remember in the past, Cleo, there was a time when you accused me of some stuff which I don't appreciate. I did have screenshots of it as well at the time. What else do we have? Should just say, okay. I also believe that Kaden should just say that his timeline could be wrong because there's no chance that Kaden is the only person that is right. There is zero chance that every person is wrong. We could also talk about the fact that Kaden said that he and the other boys went down there at this time, but there was social media activity from Mikey from that time and he was in the house, not the road. 5:27, snap, with Logan, Jasmine in the bed. P.S. I'm talking to text and verbiage. Spelling or grammar may not be 100. Well, to be honest, even if it's not great, John, I understood your messages, made more sense than others. You on something, the right track. We got Larry, wow, very interesting, that's good. Julie Ann, I'll never understand any reason for Kaden to lie. Why would he? You know, what's the point? You know, if he went to sleep at a certain time and then woke up once Noah was dead, wasn't much of a witness. Why do you need to lie in the first place? Why do you need to be inconsistent? And how does that make sense? I still do not feel confident saying there is no corruption involved. John, why would any of them lie? Also, keep in mind that Kaden may not be deliberately lying, but rather mistaken. Exactly. We got Keely Lacey. I don't think Kaden intentionally lied about anything, but his mum sure has. Well, yeah, from the evidence, I don't understand why she has inserted herself into all this. And John says, bingo. We're nearly getting there. Julie, and what did Kaden do so wrong? What he has done so right. Go against the other nonsense narrative, what Jan says. Interesting. What did I say? I'm sorry, Raf. Well, Cleo, you falsely accused me at the time in regard to being, I believe, a narcissist. You called me a narcissist. And interpreted from other messages almost like either manipulative or controlling. And I was simply keeping to myself. So that's what you accused me of at the time, which caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting it. What else do we have? What has Kaden done so wrong? Well, it's not about saying, oh, he's done this wrong, he's done that wrong. It's just about making observations out. Unfortunately, this has happened. Unfortunately, that's happened. Unfortunately, it's been inconsistent. That's all. We got Juan or something. Good job. Appreciate that, Juan. Shout out to you. Whole case didn't age well. And Rachel says, and this is somehow funny to you. Well, if you want to use humour to break through the darkness, there's no harm there. But Rachel Miller, if you think that's funny, I think the only joke around here is yourself, based on the claims that you've made. So, no position to be talking, you impetuous individual. CC, Bingham, not seen them for a while. People in that town know what happened. This isn't the first rodeo with the bad behaviour. Those people the others are afraid of. Is that Sam? There we go. JJ Bumpaz did leave a comment and response to the Alicia Lee situation. JJ said, Alicia told not one single truth. JJ Bumpaz, of all people, calling out Alicia. That's pretty important, that, isn't it? Alicia, she told not one single truth. Andrea says, so there was no banger. And a banger, as interpreted by, I believe, Alicia, is to do with JJ Bumpass, a buddy, and then 3 girls going at it somewhere, which means sexual encounters and activity. 2 guys, 3 girls, that's a 5-some. Is that even a thing? Who knows? But that's what Alicia said. And Andrea's saying, so was the banger not there? And she was only joking. But seriously, why put all the details as if she was there? The way she talks about it all is like she was actually hanging out with everyone. She seems to know word for word what all goes on. JJ Bumpaz responds, well, Like she said, Alicia, these are known facts with a crying, laughing emoji. So JJ is giving his true thoughts of what he thinks to Alicia, that Alicia is a liar and not truthful. Brooke says, maybe she wants JJ better watch out. Well, Alicia did say, when referring to JJ doing a banger with 3 girls and his best friend, Alicia said, I don't know why anyone would want to bang with JJ though. Why would you be even questioning that about that person of a younger age? Bit weird. Let me just catch up with the comments. Yogi Bear, I think I remember you. I want to search for Kenny. I like your videos. I mean, depending what age you are and if you are able, make sure to do some research as for the area, the location, first of all, so nothing bad happens. And if you want to check some of the map analysis that I've done, it's on my channel. Alicia knows about bangers, apparently. Ask the Duncan parking lot crowd. The parking lot crowd, well, what you mean bangers as in drag racing or pinning someone to the ground? Because I think the reference by Alicia with JJ and all that, the bangers are more sexual, not in a car park, but unless there's another slang, unless it's a misinterpretation with the Jan Fiorillo situation back then when she said dogging when she meant to say dogged. Never forget that one. Keely Lacey says to Brooke, Alicia is infatuated, supposedly with JJ Bumpass. George, is that the same parking lot Alicia all the kids know her as? Oh shit, I just read George's comment out then on my comment section, and it's almost the same thing as what George has said in the live chat right now. What a coincidence. Strawberry, dogging, as if who would be dogging, right? Strawberry, who even does that in public? You know, busy or quiet, who would do that? Brenda, it's weird to question who would want to have an intimate relationship with young adults. Yeah. Bangers, I thought, were sausages like bangers and mash, exactly. Well, who knows, some people might be using bangers to insert. Maybe. Maybe not the mash then. Okay, interesting. Anyone having sausages for tonight? John, I believe, oh my God, John, what's going on with all these long comments? I believe that it's very possible that the time that Kaden claims is by a text, social media, or app notification on his phone, not the true time, maybe. Example, I woke up this morning with an unread text, and it was the first thing that I saw when I was picking up my phone. I'd never noticed before, but when I clicked on the power button on my phone, the first thing that I saw was that I had an unread message with the time. It wasn't the actual time. It wasn't the password login section. It was a notification of a missed text and the time that it came in. So it's believable that a drunk person, especially a teenager, could make the mistake for this being the time, the true time. Oh, John, once again. Are we nearly there? A person called Gibby, let's hear both sides of the convo. Well, just showing what can only be shown and what's available. Compilation with Joyce Bergow cut out. Oh, no. Gibby, let's hear both sides of the conversation. And they also say, we need a compilation with Joyce Bergow's comments cut out. You want both sides of the conversation, but then you want a person's convo to be cut out? It's like saying, we need some dog food. We need to feed the dog. But by the way, we need to sell the dog to China. So why are you getting dog food then? Anyway, one day at a time. Good job, Raph. Appreciate that. Acknowledge John's last comment. Interesting that Alicia Lee mentions that Caleb allows Jack, Mikey, and Isaac to drink, especially when she, Alicia, not only Kaden to drink, and also her 15-year-old niece, Georgia. Allowed as in didn't take action. Yeah. She talks about Jack allowing to drink, but forgets that she texted Kaden and she knew that he and Georgia were drinking. Yeah. Alicia Lee talking about a banger is really weird. The fact that she didn't say anything negative about the definition of what a banger is. Not sausages, but sexual encounters Instead, she says, I can't believe that people would want to have a banger with JJ. As in, who the hell would want to fuck that individual? That's basically what it means, okay? Now, how old was JJ at the time for Alicia to be saying along the lines of that? Because that's a bit dodgy. Does that mean that she wants to have a banger with everyone else in general? So what, someone wants to bang everywhere, everyone, every time and every second? What stamina levels do they have? Jesus? Andrea, she always frames you for kids in a bad light. Meanwhile, her son does the same thing, the irony. Badger, 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 badger. There we go. Welcome. And it appears that we have finished there for the comment section. So we've all catched up there, which is a good thing. Ooh. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Interesting. So, decent amount of people present, showing up. Welcome. You can always rewind back if you want to. I've pretty much catched up there with what I need to today. I can always do additional stuff another day, catch up with the rest of the comments, whether I do it as a normal live premiere or I do it as a live stream, see how it goes, see how this video goes as well. Anything else in between? If you've got any questions to do with the case, this case, if you've got any questions towards me with the case, or you can. If you want to talk about psychology, or if you wanted thoughts about certain psychological stuff, or if you want certain thoughts on certain situations, you can always leave a question right now, or Strawberry, if you've got any questions, anyone, you can leave them regardless, it's fine, and then I'll answer them, and if not, then we'll see. Warlock Ref has a 5 o'clock shadow. Wait, what does that mean? What's a... What, a shadow on the wall? Or does that mean hairstyle? I don't know. Strawberry, Ref, ooh, slacking off. Tut, tut. Boy. So first, I didn't use a tea. I didn't dunk the chocolate in the tea, so I'm a naughty boy there. Is this strike number 2, Strawberry, for slacking off? What's strike number 3? Badger Life, look at that hair. Someone needs to whip that under control. Oh, my hair. What my hair looks a little bit wild. I wonder why. Yeah, I think my hair needs taming. I know it's not as long as some people's, but it does have a mind of its own. You haven't shaved today. 5 o'clock shadow. Ah, right. I couldn't say date protection. Well, is that so? Data protection. I thought you said, oh, we'll go on a date. Oh, data protection. Data. All right. Cleo, psychology, very interesting. Yeah. So, Cleo, do you have any questions with the psychology, or anybody else in between, or certain situations? If you needed any tips, if you needed any advice, if you need any doctor's advice or private tuition, feel free to leave comments, questions, whatever it is, and I'll respond back. Give a little bit of time here and there for any responses, maybe 20 minutes or so. If there's no questions, then I'll do a bit of a countdown. If you go on a date, bring protection. Oh, I can see how Badger read that comment by Strawberry. Oh boy. I think first thing first, what we can maybe keep under control, I guess, is whipping that hair into shape. Isn't that right, Badger? You don't think it's possible? Well, it can be done right now. I keep forgetting the other items are down, well, wherever else they are. Well, yeah, that's noisy, isn't it? There we go. Really. Nibble on the tip. There you go. Do I have like one I don't have to pull out? Keep it simple, keep it basic. No need to do too much. Don't have a banger. Oh, bloody hell, banger. Oh, God. I think there's a place in the UK called Bangor as well. How do you whip the hair into order? Oh my God, I'm not even gonna bother. A zip-based, what do you call it? A zip-based, I don't know what you call it, to be honest. I don't think it's gonna work anyway. I can imagine if I did it, I'll probably look like a mushroom. Wait, didn't I do it at one point though, and I looked more like from the Karate Kid or something? Does it do much good for me? Not really. I'm using the zip as well. To be honest, I think that's worked out okay. So all under control. I don't know how long it's going to hold it for. Literally got a fucking zip going across my forehead. Who's going to unzip my forehead? It's a good thing I said that word correctly. Okay. So I think people are in absolute awe with my dodgy hair. No questions at this moment in time. Do I have any questions for myself? Yes. Warlike Raf, how much stamina do you have? Let me show you. That's one question out of the way. Keep those notes to the side because I'll have to get the rest afterwards. I know I'm not sweating. Well, I don't look like I am, but I am pretty warm. It is warm. Why is it making my ears stick out? One ear sticking out more than the other. I do remember there was one time where someone in the comment section said, oh, well, like Raf, you're so good at what you do. But by the way, are you bound by a wheelchair? Are you disabled? And that was only because all the videos that they supposedly watch is I'm sat down. Well, of course, I'm going to be sat down doing a video. I'm not going to be doing handstands. Badger, look, it's a ninja on your noodle. Black belt. Okay. Wow. Based on that, there's not really much else that needs to be said in regard to the case because I've catched up there. Continue that tomorrow. I'll just do a countdown now. Okay. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. Jeremiah White Raf unleashed the Karate Kid. Oh, this is the way I get. What's off? No more dodgy. No more dodgy. No more dodgy. Psychology. Well, yeah, I can talk, but not if there's any questions. What is the strawberry? What is it, strawberry? What were you going to say? Do tell. If I pull it now, will it like unravel itself? Oh no, it's twisting even more. Hey, I'm caught up a bit. I'm a bit stuck. That was not a good idea, that. Fucking hell. Flick it over. Hey, strawberry. Is there anything you want to talk about, strawberry? Is there anything you want to learn about me? Oh, take care, Badger. Or take care, Brenda, whoever's leaving. Oops. I wonder what would happen if I did a live stream, but I just sat here and I said absolutely nothing. I wonder what would happen there. I think Strawberry, you might be the only viewer watching if I was to do a live stream in complete silence. I just look blank at the camera, like some kind of like weird exhibition art piece. Not so much. I'll be honest with you, I think that whip, in a way, has helped. Yeah, probably. Oh. What would your reaction be though then, Strawberry, if I was just sat there in silence? Would you rather watch me in silence or watch paint dry whilst touching it out if decorators were incompetent on their job? Jam, what are Warlike Rath's thoughts on the different people within the case? That's quite an open one, so I'll give my thoughts there. Shout out to Jam. I'm not complaining, Strawberry. I'm impressed. Jam, my thoughts on people within the case. I would say Kaden Pressy, up to a certain point, it was okay. Like, Kaden was somewhat respectful and said what he had to say and what he believed, but it all went downhill. The cracks formed once his leaked interview came out. Partners in True Crime Part 2 interview was shared about. The cracks, the leaks showed, the inconsistencies showed by some of Kaden's own doings in how he worded stuff from point A to point B. It wasn't a good look on himself. Further damage caused by his mom Alicia, who started saying a lot of stuff which Kaden had never said before, or words enhanced or changed. So it made Kaden appear somewhat unreliable. Not nasty, not dark or evil, but a bit unreliable, which is very disappointing to see from how it started to how it ended up. In terms of Jack Newton, just not seen enough of. In terms of most party goers, I've just not seen enough of. And if there was more to work with, then I could go in deeper, but I just can't. Cleo, good videos about this. Kaden last 5 days. Strawberry, Raf, in Noah's case, do you think his death was planned? That's a good question. Did I ever think that the death was planned? If at one point I believed it was a death outcome somehow. I guess how I interpreted it at one point with a theory was, well, when Jack wanted Noah back to the party, was that the aim to get him back so then they could do anything to him? Take in mind, Noah got down to the party in his own vehicle. Second time round, Noah relied on a ride down. So if initially Jack wanted Noah down at the party, regardless of how Noah got down to the party, if Noah got down in his own vehicle, Noah has an escape route. If Jack knew of Noah's disadvantage, as in not having a ride of his own, and Jack thought, right, I'll take advantage of that, I will be nice, I'll sweet talk, and I'll get someone to give you a free ride down. Why would you do that? Why would you give me a free ride? Why would anyone? Because you want them badly. You want them badly at the party. Was it quite like that? Well, the whole desperation call was more so a rumour online in which Justin Roy acknowledged as wrong information or slightly incorrect, and then it spread and it was misinterpreted from there, and it was a complete downfall and disaster, which is typical. Beside all that, and that kind of being cleared up, do I think it's still a murder or death situation? I base it off the white shorts, and at this moment in time, I don't think it's a murder-death situation. I need to know about the white shorts. I need video footage of the white shorts. That might reinforce and strengthen my outlook of an accident-based death, but that footage has not been released or shared to me, so I'm kind of hanging about at this moment in time. Would any of it have been planned, even if it was an accident? I don't think planned-based accident. Because I was thinking maybe Noah in the back of a vehicle, woken up, and it's already moving about on the highway. People driving or passengers completely unaware that Noah's in the back in the first place. And they've not come forward to this day because they just have no clue that Noah was there in the first place. Jam, I have a hard time with the premeditated scenario. Fair enough. You're welcome, Strawberry. Is there anything else what anyone has, even if it's a random question? It's risky that, isn't it? Experimental random questions, I guess, are welcome as well. Doesn't have to be about the case. Not really. But yeah, we're doing okay for time. Might stretch shortly. As I said, the videos' length tend to be what they just need to be lengthwise, and then other stuff's just talking about other bits. But if you joined late, you can always rewind back Well, I think you can during a live stream, and if not, on catch up you can. Just see if enough people get this video for the reach. Okay. God, my stomach. It's talking, my stomach's talking. Strawberry, love these lives. That's good to know. I'm glad you're here, Strawberry. Not that it often happens, but when you're not present, Strawberry, and it can be a live premiere itself, when you're not there, I can definitely feel when you're not there, you know? Such a big impact. Jam, George said he was going to send you something from a later timeline early Monday morning. Did you see it? No, I've not. I know George said about video footage after 2:42 or something of Pepe enjoying himself, video footage. I never received that either. Strawberry Ref, you're so sweet, thank you. You're welcome. Not much going on outside. I can see some planes coming on in. I do like the clouds though. I like that darkness, those dark clouds. If you're overlooking it, it looks good. My phone off, yeah. God, it's getting so warm in here. The window's closed, but that's just because of noise, privacy, and I don't want any flies to come in with it being the temperature that it is and the lighting. So I still have some Noah Presgrove videos to do. Get them done one by one. See where we are there. At the moment, there's still a lot of post and talk online, but it's not so much progression based, more reflection. I'll make sure you get the 2:42 video. I appreciate that because it's a particular timeline moment. That might be, if it does come about, that might be the latest piece of footage from what I can remember, because 1:05 in the morning you had that, but then anything else after that which has been public, not that I know of. Cleo, do you care if I'm around anymore? How do you mean that, Cleo? If you mean, do I think about you? No. Jam, okay, thanks, Ref. I had wondered. Okay. I mean, honestly, when it comes to what's on my mind and who I think of, I'm only thinking of one person and only one person only, and they're present right now. With the exception of the case, I'm always thinking about the case or a mystery, whichever one I'm doing. Really locked on with that. Trying to fold this like whip device up, and it's been a bit of a pain. Shouldn't have used it in the first place. As far as Watcher Crazy didn't show up tonight, but maybe they're resting or using the lawnmower somewhere. I can't get it back in now. Welcome to anyone that has joined, watching me sat here like a melon, not doing much. Oh, for God's sake, it's not gonna, can someone else fold this up for me? Can't get it to pop back in. Oh well. I've still not retrieved that other strawberry drawing because it's kind of like stuck. That rude, I will. Oh my God, I'm freaking sweating shit. Sorry about that. That rude, I'll have words with Watcher. Oh, really have words. Rude. Are you gonna have words with Watcher, or are you gonna have words with me first? Because I've been a naughty individual today, supposedly. Well, in the live, I've been very naughty, supposedly. You can say, get back to work. I'm gonna put this back first. What are these people doing outside? Playing with candles, scented candles. I wonder if there's any items or props I've used in there or not used before. that about. Some people think these live streams are so basic. But some people said go back to the shed. But honestly, doing it outside, I don't think the connection is as stable, right? We don't want an unstable connection. Jam, early happy Father's Day to all the papas out there. Yes, of course. You have words, Strawberry. You do that. Okay. So, I'm probably going to do a countdown. Oh, the shed. Do you like the shed, Strawberry? Does it bring back memories? Does it? Does it bring back memories of the shed and the live streams and the videos and anything else as well? The healing. I could try it sometime maybe, but it would have to be when it's cold. Oh, does it, Strawberry? Really? Well, I'm sure new memories can be made elsewhere as well. Jam, does UK have Father's Day on the same day as the US? Well, I think so, but maybe Mother's Day is a bit different. Father's Day in the UK is tomorrow. So yeah, they might be consistent with that. Welcome to anyone else that is watching in the background. Appreciate it. Yeah, besides cases, live streaming, just other stuff I'm not as good with. Yes, the shed memories. Mother's Day was different. Yeah, Mother's Day different, yeah. Do you have a favourite memory, Strawberry, with the shed? Any particular one? You wonder why I'm standing? I'm just stretching my back at the moment. For anyone interested in the Kenny Veach M-Cave Mysteries and Case, I still want to do videos on that. I'm just trying to juggle it about with all the other stuff. But I did do a live stream recently, which was eye-opening. Oh, you do, Strawberry. Oh my God, my stomach. Ow. That's hurting, that. Cleo, what is with you nowadays, Ref? Could you please elaborate on that, Cleo? What do you mean by that? What is with me now? What do you mean? Could you explain it a little bit clearer? God, it's warm. Yeah, Cleo, can you explain your comment again right now? Trying to understand what you're getting at. I still need to do a Dylan Rounds video, the 500th video on the case. I need to catch up on that. Just one last one, reflection based. I'll get that done. It's only going to be a short one. That. Come on, Cleo. What do you mean? Where do I put that strawberry? Oh my God, that strawberry on the packaging looks like blood smeared all over the place. My God. A bit of a crime scene, Sharon. Well, how long is it going to take for someone to respond back there? 10 more minutes, maybe? Ooh. Where's it, Strawberry? I don't know if you can see Strawberry, but can you see that little dot there? No, the skin's come off. It's like ripped off. Can you see it? The circle. It's when doing the forearm exercises, specifically the 66-pound single hammer curl. It'll just be the head of the shaft rubbing against my thumb. But it is what it is. But the thing is, every time I've done it, the bone area is bruised every time. So I don't want to be doing it all the time, the exercise, because it's probably going to create like a hard surface of skin. My hands are going to turn to bricks. It's not going to be nice for touching, is it? It's going to be really rough and hard. sure you don't want that. Ooh. Jamal, I saw a documentary about Kenny. He suspect he crawled in the cave and he was come over by CO2. The mouth of the cave, very interesting. If he had to crawl in, why did he describe it originally as like a decent size? Hold on a minute, Cleo. Hold on a minute, Cleo. Give me a second. Just no compassion towards myself like you used to. Well, what did I used to do back then? Do you mean as in back then giving you attention? Is that what you basically mean? It's just because I am busier now. My hands are full. I am taken, and that's pretty much it. And I've got to communicate elsewhere with other humans when it comes to trying to sort out the situations in the background with cases and whatnot. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's only so much I can do. There's only so much that I can say. I always acknowledge you when you support the channel, you know, shout outs and all that. So I'm keeping it minimalistic as well, because at times in the past when I've tried helping and then you become a bit overpowering with your words and massive, long, overwhelming paragraphs, I thought, well, how can I negotiate and reduce that side effect? So it's under control. Stephen, the people hired by the family hired Jack Newton and probably Caleb to do a crime against no districts, rich police. Okay. Okay. Right. I think I will do a countdown now, or at least try another one. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Take care, Jeremiah. 4, 3. Well, it's not just that, Cleo, that your paragraphs are too long. It's the contents within it and how we can go from a normal conversation to then you saying, I need demands, I need a routine, I need you to tell me to do this and to do that, and what should I do next and what should I do here, and give me all these like tasks to tell you to do stuff. I don't do that, okay? Jam, take care, good night. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We are now done. Thanks to those that watched the live stream. Take care. I'll see you in the next video, probably tomorrow or the day after. And it'll be as a standard video live premiere. Okay? So take care and goodbye.